Bill's Bites on PJNet Live. Let's run down the checklist. Our studio is number 5, and it is ready. We have a background play, and all the cameras are ready, and Wild Bill for America standing by in the green room. We shall go to the studio in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to PJNet Live. We're glad you're here, and you are not here alone. We do this every Saturday night about 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're fortunate and honored and privileged to have Wild Bill for America bring us the kind of things you will not likely read in the mainstream media. But to join Wild Bill, I'm going to have to send us our studio to the beautiful beaches of Daytona Beach, Florida, where Wild Bill's bunker is located, and he is standing by. But before I bring him in, I'm going to have to kind of get out of the way right here. Okay, boom, there I go, and then I'll bring Wild Bill on the board. Wild Bill for America, you've been making videos this week, but you are indoors. Your camera is working now. Life is good, but we've got some serious problems that we need your help on in Iran.
Oh yeah, well, that's solving the world's problems. That's my business. As soon as I get people listen to me, they'll be taken care of. But yeah, seriously, serious stuff in Iran. I don't think people realize how serious this could get. Iran has been the world's #1 terrorist nation for a long time. I was in the U.S. Navy, and I was anti-terrorism with U.S. Marshals and so on, and with mercy ships. So I've been keeping up with Iran, and these guys could be a serious threat to our Navy. Now, for what they have done, as you guys may know, is they attacked 4 oilers in the Gulf of Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz, and this is a direct challenge to President Trump. This is an all-out act of war. Iran's been asking for it for a long time, and Trump is going to have to respond forcefully to this. Iran has been at war with the USA for a long time, and we cannot let them get away with attacking oil tankers. So I'm thinking President Trump needs to turn the U.S. Navy loose to pound these guys. But here's the concern, Mark. Iran has got a speedboat navy. We have got 1,000-ton ships. The Russians have 1,000-ton ships. So do the Chinese and the British. Iran has these speedboats, and I once saw a video of where they made a practice run on a tanker with about 200 speedboats, each one of them armed with an anti-tank or anti-ship missile. Now, when the big ships attack each other, if a Russian ship and a U.S. ship got into a fight, they would launch 2, maybe 3 missiles at each other. These speedboats could launch over 100 missiles at an American ship, and I don't think they could defend against it. So this is a serious threat. We could
certainly a merchant ship, but our Navy is far superior to theirs. I mean, they've got a brown water Navy. Now, the threat that you mentioned, the first thing that comes to my mind is Sea Whiz.
What's a Sea Whiz?
Close-in weapons system. Go Google it. It's basically a 30 millimeter Gatling gun.
Gatling gun. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's highly advanced.
It is. But these ships, these speedboats, would launch missiles way beyond the range of that Gatling gun. And how many incoming missiles can that Gatling gun take out before the ship gets hit?
I'll find out, but they need to. They're going to have to launch a bunch of them. But I see the strategy is just overwhelm our weapons. These weapons are so smart. One of my former employees manned one of these Sea Whiz stations on a vessel, but it can track multiple targets, and what it'll do is target the one that will arrive first, which may not be the one that's closest. But, we don't need to go through that. I remember the last time that I can remember some actor in the Middle East making a claim on in international waters was Gaddafi. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
He just kind of said, well, our borders go a little bit further out in the ocean than the rest of the world understands. And Reagan put a stop to that.
He did. Yeah, and we shot down some of Gaddafi's MiGs too, just to make the point.
Mm-hmm.
But Iran is a whole different kind of animal, though.
Yeah.
And Iran, a lot of people don't know this, but the improvised explosive devices, the IEDs that have been killing and maiming our soldiers and Marines over in the Middle East conflict, are manufactured by Iran specifically to kill Americans.
Mm.
So there is a lot of American blood on their hands, and they're going to have to answer for it sooner or later. And now they commit this open act of war. We're going to see some serious conflict here very shortly. And President Pee-wee, Barack Obama, I am convinced is the enemy of America. When he was president, he got caught shipping pallets of money to Iran, billions of dollars, even though Iran was considered a terrorist state. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And now we have Argentina testifying that the Obama administration pressured them to provide nuclear weapons grade materials to Iran. This is during the Gulf War. This is while our troops are locked in combat over there. So, man, I tell you, that's all I need to know about Barack Obama. That man has done more to promote terrorism against the USA than any other government official that I know of. Well, we don't know exactly what Hillary has done yet, but we now know what Obama has done. So my prayer is that Donald Trump will hammer Iran brutally, unmercifully, until they beg for mercy and offer to take Obama off our hands in exchange for peace.
There you go. Tell me, when did these 4 attacks take place?
About 3 days ago, maybe 4 days ago. And one tanker, they believe, was torpedoed, no doubt, by an Iranian submarine. And our guys have been practicing for years to take out those Iranian submarines, and now I think it's time to actually do it. Now, I really don't want to see a major war in Iran, because the Iranian people at one time were the best friends the USA had. The Iranian people are not Arabs. They are Persian.
Mm-hmm.
It's a whole different mindset there. But when Jimmy Carter was president and he stabbed the Shah in the back, which allowed the mullahs, the Islamic mullahs, to take over Iran, that's when things got bad. These guys have oppressed the Iranian people ever since the days of Jimmy Carter. You know, if we could get radical Islam out of control in Iran, I think the Persian people would go back to being a U.S. ally. I really do. So it's a touchy situation over there, Mark.
Well, we
Touchy
can't.
situation.
It's hard to get it right because, like the Shah of Iran and other actors in the Middle East, they certainly may not have been great guys, but they were our guys. And look who replaced them when they toppled.
Yeah, it was that move by Jimmy Carter that launched worldwide terrorism. Everything was quiet until Carter betrayed the Shah and helped him to be overthrown by the most radical Muslims in the world. And of course, with Iran being an oil-rich nation, that oil money fueled the rise of jihad all around the world. Thank you, Jimmy Carter. Thank you, Barack Obama. Thank you, Democrat Party. Public enemy number one.
It's and the last thing that Trump needs, politically, Trump is doing a great job. Although they won't credit him for it or tell any of us about it. But America now has not a deficit, but a surplus.
Really?
Yes. In the first quarter of this year, the government actually posted a surplus, and unemployment is at its lowest level. You've got to go back to 1969 to find low, but you won't hear about that. But I think the one thing that politically that might make things difficult for Trump is getting us engaged in some far off war. And I think that his political enemies know that, and that may be part of this.
That may be the motive behind these oil tanker attacks, is to sucker Trump into a conflict that will make him lose the election.
Right.
I would not be at all surprised if the Democrats had a talk with Iran and convince them to do this. I would not be at all surprised if the Democrats are working hand in hand with Iran.
I
Nothing surprises me anymore from those treasonous snakes. The Democrat Party, public enemy number one.
I bet if you followed the footsteps of a certain individual last name Soros, um, I bet they're you cannot discount the possibility because things are going too well for Trump, and I think they know it, and they don't have any sizzle in their skillet. So they might be waging a political war here.
I would not be surprised. That thought had not occurred to me, but the fact that the Democrats would trigger a war in order to stop Trump from winning a second term makes perfect sense. There is no crime the Democrats will not commit if they think they can get away with it.
Yeah. Well, let's see how it unfolds. But closer to home, you and I live in the great state of Florida, and we have elected. DeSantis was down from your area. He was a U.S. House member. Was he in was he in your district?
He was. He was in my district, and I locked horns with him at a dinner here in Daytona Beach once over failure to prosecute Benghazi. And yeah, in fact, I accused him of being a Hillary Clinton lapdog because neither he nor his crony Republicans bothered to contact a single U.S. attorney to look at the evidence on Benghazi. But that's water under the bridge now. He's now the governor of the state of Florida, and he's doing a lot of things good. Benghazi's still out there, but for instance, here in Florida, he signed a bill banning sanctuary cities. That's definitely a step in the right direction. This is one of the most serious threats the USA has faced in a long time. The massive illegal immigration flooding into our country of people with no vetting whatsoever. Thank you, Democrats, once again. The plan is for the Democrats to flood this nation with illegals so that they can mob the election, that they can mob the polling places and eliminate our ability to vote in good God and country Americans. It is a sinister plan, and it's serious. But at least DeSantis said no sanctuary cities in Florida, which is nice, bless his little pea-picking heart. But you know what? It's already illegal to be a sanctuary city in the USA. It has always been a crime to aid and abet criminals in the commission of a crime. And that's what these cities are. Hey, DeSantis, you want to make an impact on illegal immigration? Just have the sheriffs of Florida round up anybody who any mayor or commissioner who sets up a sanctuary city and arrest them for conspiracy to violate the immigration laws of the USA. It is a crime, and if people would see them being led away in handcuffs by sheriff's deputies, I guarantee you sanctuary cities would come to a screeching halt in America.
And that's exactly what it is. We are finding ourselves having to pass laws that are common sense, okay? You need to pass a law that you can't have a sanctuary city. We already can't have a sanctuary city.
No, there's no common sense to this, Mark. There is no common sense at all. This is just political grandstanding like the Benghazi hearings. Rather than actually enforcing the laws on the books, they do this political showboating for the TV cameras and do these symbolic things. And that's why I locked horns with DeSantis. This is why I tend to tangle with politicians in general. Simply enforce the laws that are on the books, and we would see a lot of problems get solved.
Yeah, we had to pass state after state constitutional amendments that marriage is between one man and one woman. I mean, really? I've known that for some time.
Yeah, biology has known that for some time.
Well, and God figured this out several thousand years ago, but we had a better idea, so now we have to pass laws to that effect. Now, speaking of immigration, who's the new Border Czar?
Oh, Thomas Homan. This guy has been a tough as nails border patrolman for 30 years, I guess. He's done everything when it comes to border enforcement, and this guy is he is the Chuck Norris of Border Patrol agents. I mean, this guy is tough as nails, and he has got a sense of duty that we rarely see in Washington, D.C. He believes that every illegal border crossing is a crime that should be prosecuted. Whoa, what a breath of fresh air that is. Somebody might actually get prosecuted for breaking the law.
But what if they have their children with them, Bill? What if you're separating families?
Yeah, you're
what
right.
about our dreamers?
You're right.
What about our dreamers?
I'll round them up and send them home.
Yeah, and
why should we cater to parents who bring their children with them when they commit crimes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and besides, well, probably the majority of the people crossing the border illegally are just looking for a better life. But you know what? Because it is such uncontrolled chaos, thanks to the Democrats, that we have drug runners, gun runners, Islamic jihadis, MS-13 thugs. We have got all kinds of scumbags flowing into this country. It's time to slam the door on all immigration, and everybody has to go through the system, which works fine. Our immigration system is not broken. It has never been broken. The only thing is that the laws are not obeyed. Why? Because nobody gets prosecuted. I think they should open up Ellis Island, where everybody who wants to become an immigrant gets inspected and interviewed. And if they are mentally deficient, show sickness, uneducated, unwilling to be productive citizens, reject, reject.
Well, I often get, in the, if it's possible to have a narrative with the liberal, they talk about how Ellis Island, people give us you're poor, you're hungry. And I say, but we're kind of full. When you weren't full and there weren't any social programs, there was no food stamps. Well, come on. But if you're in a lifeboat, have you considered this? If you're in a lifeboat and people get on board and you see people swimming, at first you're going to say, well, here, let me help you in. And then when the boat gets full, you'll say, well, here, just hang on to the side of the boat. But then after a while, the boat begins to, at some point, you got to tell some people no, in order that the rest may live, because you get too many. We're kind of full, Bill. We're kind of full.
Well, we definitely have all the scumbags we can handle. Here's something that we've lost sight of. American citizenship is a privilege. It is not a right. Not every person in the world has the right to waltz into the USA and say, hey, where's my check? And I don't understand why we don't set high standards for immigrants to the USA. Why are we not bringing in the Christians of the Middle East who are persecuted? I mean, seriously persecuted. Their lives are in danger. The Christian faith commands its followers to be the best possible citizens, to pull their own weight, to respect the government, to obey the laws. Why are we not bringing those people in rather than the unvetted criminals of the world? Thank you, Democrat Party, public enemy number one.
Maybe we could do kind of a one-for-one exchange program we'll vet them and say, you can come in, but we got to have a Democratic member of Congress leave our country and go to your home country, and then you can come in our country. That'd be a one-for-one. We'll just swap.
Well, if the prosecutions would begin, we would see Democrats voluntarily go into other countries. I anticipate the day when we have to fight to get them all extradited back here for trial. That'll be a wonderful day. But anyway, we need to start bringing in men and women who are benefits to the USA. We need more Melania Trump immigrants. It just tickles me to no end that the First Lady is an immigrant. That has to stick a knife in the Democrats. The finest First Lady we have ever had. That's the kind of immigrant we should be bringing in. I'd kind of like to have a Melania Trump myself.
There you go.
Maybe 2 or 3.
Well, let's see now. If this Thomas Homan is a drug czar, does he have to go through any confirmation, or is that just an appointment to the cabinet?
Border Czar. I don't think there is an official Border Czar in the cabinet. I don't know if he has to be confirmed or not.
I hope not. Okay.
Well, Trump could make these hearings painless. Confirmation hearings would be smooth, swift, and conflict-free if he would do one thing, and that is remove the TV cameras.
Uh-oh. Do
If
you
people
think
like Cory Booker couldn't do his silly clown act, he wouldn't do his silly clown act.
Spartacus, you mean?
Cue ball.
Cue ball. Well, there's some good news out there.
There it is. There it is. I just sent you a little sentence on this one. Mom uses GPS to find her daughter, who ended up was pinned under her car for 7 hours after driving off a cliff. Macy Smith was the girl's name, and her mom became concerned when she didn't come home after curfew.
Mm-hmm.
Curfew.
Oh,
So
curfew. Yeah.
I'd like to hear that more often. Well, anyway, this poor girl, she drove off a cliff in the mountains of Mount Airy, North Carolina. Now, I've been there. Have you ever been to Mount Airy? It is the sound that was the inspiration for Mayberry RFD.
Oh man, really? Oh, that's
It's
great.
a cool town. It's a great town. But anyway, this poor girl rolled her car off the side of the mountain, crashed down 25 feet, was thrown from the car because she wasn't wearing her seatbelt, no doubt,
Mm-hmm.
broke her neck, and her arm was pinned under the car. She couldn't reach her cell phone. And her mom finally used the GPS phone locating app on her phone
Right.
to find where this phone was. And mom went and found her daughter laying in the woods in a ditch under her car. Man, this is a great rescue story. And Macy, the teenage girl, she said she couldn't reach her cell phone, but she was able to reach her Bible. And she clung to that Bible and prayed harder than she ever has. And I don't doubt that a bit. But this is one of those good news stories that we need to hear more of.
We do, Bill.
Yeah,
And,
number one, a teenager with a curfew.
well, I was going to
We
say,
need more of that.
you are wise to point that out, Bill, is that we've lost accountability. We've lost the cohesion between parents and their children. And this is a case where it pays to have children under the care of a loving parent who
Under
loves
the
them
authority-
enough to say, you will be home at.
under the authority of a loving parent.
There you go.
Let's not be ashamed to use the A word
The A word, the big A.
and the S word, seat belt. If this
Yep.
teenager had been wearing her seatbelt when she rolled that car, she would have unbuckled, crawled out of the car, and called, "Mom, come get me!" And we would have never heard about this story. But I'm glad it turned out as good as it did.
I bet she'll be
Seatbelt.
wearing it in the future.
I hope so. I hope she recovers well from her neck injury. She had to have surgery on her neck because of the fracture. But yeah, when I was a cop, I used to tell parents that it's important for the kids to get that first wreck in, that first car wreck, because they need to learn how easy it is for it to happen. And I don't know how many fender benders I investigated for teenage drivers. And sometimes the parents were upset, and I would tell them, this is one of the best things that could have happened to your kid. Trust me.
Bill, when I first got my driver's license, one of the first things I did was ran over my dog. And that taught me, yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
being, being a, just crank it up, rev it up, put it in reverse. The dog was, that'll stick with you.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be a horrible memory.
It is. When I'm writing code, Bill, doing something that takes a lot of, I play not the video, but I play the music from the video. Shake It Off from Taylor Swift, because it's really,
That's
so I'm
gonna
not a
have to
Taylor.
change.
Yeah. I don't watch the video. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's just a bit provocative. But I'm not. But I do love that. I don't know. I just like it when I'm doing something serious. But now she's done something wrong.
Oh, that Taylor Swift. Taylor Not So Swift is her new name. I remember when Taylor Swift came on the scene, and she was an awkward, gangly teenager who did okay when she played her guitar and sang, and everybody wanted Taylor Swift to do well because she just reminded us of our gawky kid sister, and she did do well. The music industry, built her up into a superstar. And I remember thinking when she first started becoming popular, man, I hope the entertainment industry doesn't destroy this young girl the way they have so many others.
Yeah, which one
And
haven't they destroyed? You know.
well, yeah, she was one of the few on the list, but now Taylor Swift has gone hardcore sexual fruitcake. She has adopted the LGBTQ fruitcake as her pet project. She's donating millions to support homosexual propaganda sites. She's releasing a new song about about hate. How if you don't support the homosexual lifestyle, you're filled with hate. That is just liberal propaganda. So
It is, Bill, and
Taylor
it's
Swift has gone off the rails.
I, that's too bad. That and it seems like Hollywood does that. I remember when Miley Cyrus was that cute little Hannah Montana on Disney.
She
Remember
was
that?
great, yeah.
You
And then
know,
she turned into this
boy, as soon
fruit.
as she turned 18 or got out her contract, boy, eh, lost. You know, and as a parent, I would hate to think, you know, I don't know, maybe, you know, Bill, I tell you though, maybe it's not the end because I know some pretty wild characters that have found the Lord and really turned their life around, and Peter Boland is one of them. From what I'm hearing, you know, you would never have given him a hope that he would turn out the way it is. So, you know, God can still do things, and maybe in the midst of our criticism and anguish and frustration, you know, we need to be reminded that we should pray for them, and God can change the. Wouldn't that be an embarrassment to the cause? You know, a lot of people
Yeah.
have left Planned Parenthood now and are pro-lifers. Wouldn't it be great to see a mass exodus from the
Or just
LGBT?
a big star like Taylor Swift suddenly see the light come on and say, I was wrong.
Yeah,
I mean, she has such a tremendous presence on the media right now. For them to just shut her out of the media would be painfully obvious.
yeah.
So let's pray that God will turn Taylor Swift around, open her eyes, and let her see the evil that she is now involved in.
Well, speaking of gay, you know, Trump, and we've done some shows on this. I don't know if you're aware of it. Trump put an end to this, you know, flying the rainbow, whatever flag that is.
That
Uh,
is
at,
the child molesters flag. Let's call it
yeah,
what it really
okay.
is.
And he put a stop to it. And the next thing you know, I mean, everybody's screaming. And I looked it up, Bill. June, everybody's decrying that June is LGBT plus G, whatever, Q,
Right.
Pride Month. Well, I have gone to Congress.gov and I have searched, and no, it is not.
No.
It is not. There has been no such congressional declaration. There have been some bills introduced since 2014, but that's as far as they got. They got introduced and got, you know how that goes. So no, it's if a group. It's also National Sunflower Month. It's National Beethoven Month. Any group of people can celebrate their cause amongst them, you know, organically. But no, we're not going to take down the United States flag for it. In
Yeah.
fact, I can't think of anything that would be so important as to take the United States flag down and raise any other flag, period, ever.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only one flag that would be appropriate to fly beneath the
Beneath.
U.S. flag, and that would be the Christian Standard flag, because the Christian faith was the establishing force of the United States. So that would be appropriate, I think.
It could be, and again below the POWMIA. I don't have, but any flag, you know, these flags can. But I like the way I just do away with it because it's a slippery slope. But as soon as
Yeah.
Trump does that, some governor, where was it, Colorado?
Yeah, yeah.
What did he do?
Governor Polis of Colorado, I believe he is another openly homosexual politician. So the Colorado, the pot state, elected this flaming homosexual, and he is now flying the flag of filth at the state capitol.
Where does it end?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were sipping your drink there. I'll
Uh,
keep yammering here. The
best
flag of filth. We need to call it what it is. We need to
best dad.
shame these people. They want to steal God's rainbow and turn it into something filthy. Well, let's call it the flag of filth. And I think we should identify it as the child molesting flag, the pedophile flag, because that is one of the goals of the homosexual movement. This is hardcore, but homosexuals cannot reproduce. They know that, therefore they have to recruit. In America, I'm telling you, a substantial number of homosexuals became that way by being molested as little children. And that, my friend, is why they are targeting the children of America. And we need to expose this predatorship all across the nation. It's time to start blasting it loud and clear.
It's crazier every minute, and I don't quite understand because in our country, I would not favor any law taking away somebody's choice to choose sin, because God lets us choose sin. Why do we have to celebrate their sin? That's what I don't understand. Why do we have to accept their sin? And if we don't accept their sin, in other words, if we agree with God, that is somehow hate.
Well, you pretty much answered your own question there. This is a conflict between good and evil, right and wrong, and there is no middle ground for the left. They go all out. If you don't agree with them on everything, you are evil.
Right.
Isaiah said, "Woe to those who call good evil and evil good." But those are the days we're now living in. Heterosexual marriage is now hateful. It's probably racist. I don't know. I haven't checked the list lately to see what's on the racist list because, frankly, I really don't care. But we are seeing this sexual madness boiling up in America as a direct confrontation with the Christian church. That is what they are intending to do.
It's coming our way. I've been kind of noticing that Joe Biden's getting a lot of press. What about the other 20 plus? Whatever happened to Beto and whatever happened to Mayor Pete and all those guys?
Oh, they're still clamoring. They're trying to see who can out radical the others. And one of the big things I see is their campaigns seem to be predicated on how much they can steal and give away to their constituents. This is a campaign of bribery. Elizabeth Warren is on the warpath to eliminate student debt, to give them amnesty for their college loans. They've given the kids a lousy education. Now eliminate the part of the education where they learn to pay their debts. Real smart, but
what's the moral lesson there? You enter into a contract. You make
enter
a
into
promise.
a contract.
Now, what would these people say when they get our age if the government said, we've got all this debt called Social Security, and we're just going to eliminate it? How would they feel then?
Don't give them any ideas. Yeah.
It's a covenant. It's a contract. It's a
contract.
Promise.
They made an agreement. Hold them to a legal agreement. Yeah. And by letting these kids weasel out of their debts, it's just reinforcing the bad education they've already got.
Well, you're giving them the wrong education. You're saying that you don't have to pay back your debt. You don't have to keep your word. Everything wrong, okay, is there. And no one held a gun to their head and made them take the money. They took the money. They went and got their degree in lesbian dance theory or art history or whatever, and had a good time, drank some beer, and now they are out. I know a few exceptions to this. Mm-hmm. I know a friend of my wife's, her daughter is just graduated, and she's been offered a very, very good job. I mean, almost 6 digits right off the bat. But she's strapped with $300,000 or $200,000, I think. But those are the exceptions. Most people they're living in their mother's basement.
And what they're learning from this Elizabeth Warren stuff is that if they whine enough,
mm-hmm.
they get their way. And that's just immaturity.
It is.
I remember Obama won his second term by giving away 1 million Obama phones. Remember that?
I actually helped a member of Congress roll that back. You hadn't seen. I remember when they were right in the heyday of that. There were
Yeah.
vans parked in parking lots with signage. Come get
Yeah.
your free phone.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. What they
and
were doing is they were buying votes.
Well, the original purpose of that whole bill was to make sure that every household had two things: one, the ability to dial 911, and the ability, if they were looking for a job, to be contacted. That was the
Yeah.
original intent. It was not about smartphones, it was about a landline. If you'll look at it, for those of you that, well, even on your cell phone bill, you'll see a little tax on there, 40 cents or whatever it is, to fund that. But no, it turned into a giveaway program. People had multiple phones, and it just got way out of hand. But it gets back to the same old thing. We're going to give you, give you, give you, give you. And it's
Gimme,
like
gimme, gimme, gimme.
it's like the government is just an ATM, and you just punch the buttons, and it just gorges. In fact, I saw. We got to wrap it up soon, but I can't believe there is no boundaries to where candidates will go. Joe Biden said, if elected president, he's going to find a cure for cancer. Now, wait a minute. There's already Are we not trying to find a cure for cancer? What's he going to do? I'd rather deal with a cancer than have Joe Biden. He is a cancer. His liberal ideology is cancer.
Joe Biden is the man who will say anything to get elected. He opens his mouth and the baloney just rolls right out. This is what he is known for. The man has nothing to offer, nothing whatsoever, but he knows his constituents. He knows they don't care. He can make a statement like that, and his unthinking, mind-numb zombies just accept it.
All 200 of them that were there, applauded. Yeah. Trump's getting ready to do a big rally in Orlando, or is it already done?
I don't know. I wasn't able to
Okay.
get to it. I don't know if it was today or when.
I saw something on Twitter. Are you at liberty to speak about what you're going to be doing in the month of August?
Oh, yeah, Joe Dan Gorman's Picnic, Intellectual Frog Legs, August 3rd. You betcha, I'm going to MC it. This is going to be the biggest politically incorrect hillbilly hootenanny, the pig trough barbecue you've ever seen, Franklin, Tennessee. So go to intellectualfroglegs.com and RSVP, and I will see you there. Joe Dan's motto is, if you're not wearing it, it didn't taste good. So we're going to be smeared with barbecue sauce, and we're going to be cussing Hillary and Biden and cheering for Trump.
Somehow.
That's all I can tell you on that.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to tell more and see more in the near future. Well, Bill, thanks for sharing with us tonight. I'm glad we were able to end on a light note, because we started out on some very serious stuff. That it is very serious, folks, and we need to pay attention. Bill, thanks for digging up the news that the mainstream media doesn't care about, and thanks for sharing your comments on it, because the news is one thing, but Wild Bill for America has the potion if you can
stomach it.
Stomach the taste of it. Bill, appreciate you coming on board, and we'll see you in the week ahead.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you, Bill. Well, there he was, folks. Wild Bill for America. You heard him right here on PJ Net Live. Let me kind of jump back up in the middle of things here. And hey, listen, appreciate you tuning in. Hope you'll see us here next Saturday. About this time, Wild Bill for America will be back. We've got guests throughout the week, too, that I think you'll find very interesting. It all happens right here on PJ Net Live.